All right. Let's take this email. This comes from Mindy Duran, Garden City, Kansas City.
A friend.
Is that right? Oh, hello, Marcus and Bruce. First, let me say thank you to you both for being a major factor in my conversion to Catholicism. Bruce, why is church history basically ignored in the Church of Christ? In my 34 years as a Church of Christ member, I never remember anyone teaching about history. Of course, this is the area that got me going down the path to becoming Catholic. How can I talk to others in the Church of Christ about history in order to try to open them up to the truth? Thank you, Mindy.
Yeah. Hi, Mindy. Basically, Churches of Christ, and I'm going to be a little bit facetious here, they don't totally ignore church history, but it just is kind of truncated. Christ established a church, we read about in the book of Acts, it fell away, and then the Protestant revolt occurred, and then Alexander Gamble came along, and voila, we now have our present movement. So it's very truncated, and with a 1,500-year gap or so there. But they actually believe that church history is irrelevant many times because they say it's just a matter of what the Bible says. But where church history, in my opinion, comes into play, and is very important in talking to, say, a Church of Christ member or some fundamentalist, is this. The whole argument is this. Is the Catholic Church who she claims to be or not? If the Catholic Church is who she claims to be, then what she presently teaches should be what she has always taught, and church history is valuable because I can show that in the 20th century, 18th, 16th, 14th, all the way back to the beginning, that the Catholic Church has been there institutionally and in her sacraments teaching the same fundamental faith. And history is important in witnessing to that fact in order to settle that idea of, is the Catholic Church who she claims to be, or is she something that came into being with Constantine? And so it is important, and I would approach it that way to show my non-Catholic friends that continuity, that history bears witness to the fact that for 2,000 years there has been a church teaching the same fundamental faith, growing in understanding of that faith, but teaching that same faith with an unbroken succession of bishops, and that's why history is important.
Do Church of Christ folk believe you need to be a Church of Christ to be saved?
Yes, the short answer.
Okay, so if Jesus established a church and then quickly it went apostate, Luther helped it a little bit, but it wasn't fully restored until Campbell. So for those 1,800 years, they basically believed that no one was saved?
They would fundamentally believe, when I say they believe you have to be a Church of Christ member, they believe anyone who is saved is a member of the Church of Christ, by definition. So, but basically, they either entertain one of two ideas. Either one, there weren't Christians in that time, in which case, yeah, the dismal prospect that you just described, or two, by faith, believing that, well, yeah, they were always there somewhere hidden. And like many non-Catholics who believe in the apostasy of the church, they'll latch hold of guys like Waldensians and Albigensians and anybody who you see in history that was a anti-Catholic or had at odds with the Catholic Church, he must have been one of us, or at least a sympathizer with us. And so they'll believe they're there just hidden someplace in the background. And maybe the Catholic Church just wiped out the memory of them. But so they're grasping at straws there, in essence.
All right.